comes a stealing, and it sets my brain a-reeling when I listen to the music of a military band. Every tune like Yankee Doodle simply sets me off my noodle. It's that patriotic something that no one can understand.
Good morning, PASW staff, clients, and friends joining us. Welcome to Thursday's class. Now, this is a special patriotic class because we all know in a few days it's July 4th, right? So we will be off tomorrow, so there won't be classes because we have to observe 4th of July. So I thought I'd give you still a patriotic class, nonetheless, of somebody who's really glorified Broadway and patriotism more than probably anybody else I can think of. So today we're going to use this patriotic class and talk about the man who's considered the man who owned Broadway. And today we're going to be talking about George M. Cohan.
I'm the kid that's all the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I am. Uncle Sam. I'm a real live Yankee Doodle, made my name and fame and boodle, just as Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony. I love to.
George M. Cohan is really the father of the American musical comedy. And we'll talk about his life and his legacy and why he's so important. And I know my dad will be very excited to see this class because every 4th of July he watches George M. Cohan's song, but the film version, Yankee Doodle Dandy, which came out in 1942, and which starred Jimmy Cagney as George M. Cohan playing the life story of George M. Cohan. So we're going to probably be watching and referencing clips from that movie because that movie was kind of so good, even though it's not the George M. Cohan, it's his songs and his life story. So we can get right to work here if you want to jump in. I mean, this guy, born in 1878. Now, I think it was July 3rd. His parents said July 4th. That probably made for a better story, but it's July 3rd. So he's born a long time ago. This is, 1878, and in Rhode Island. And the son of vaudevillians. Now, we've talked about vaudeville a little bit. Vaudeville is really just the epitome of show business. You sing, act, dance, you do anything on stage, and you have to be really good at it. You know, it's not like now where you can do close-ups of so-and-so dancing and then cut to so-and-so acting, and they're all different people. This is truly show business. And his family, they travel all around the country and they tour. And they do these acts, and he starts playing violin on stage at like 7, and by 15 he makes his Broadway debut, and he's kind of in charge of the family by that point in terms of writing skits, writing bits, and he starts. I mean, this guy was such an auteur. We've talked about that in film, where auteurs, they have complete control over the product. Not in a dictatorship way, but in a visionary way. And he was like that. He would write the shows, he would sing, he would act, he would dance, he would produce, he would manage them. It was completely his original vision of it. And with Rossini, we talked about 39 operas. Well, this guy wrote 50 shows and over 300 songs, and all performed on Broadway. And he was kind of, they'd call him like an anthem machine because his songs were very singable. And much like Lionel Bart's Oliver. Remember we talked about Lionel Bart. He didn't know how to read music, didn't have musical training, but he sure knew how to write a song that was very catchy.
Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
And I think with George M. Cohan, the music was so singable and the lyrics were very clever and his style was patriotic in a way. And, I think he was, I don't know how political he was. But I do know that he was inspired to write his most famous song, Over There, in 1917, just when America entered the World War I. And because that gave so much hope and courage to American soldiers and fighters, 25 years later, FDR gives him this Congressional Medal of Honor because of what the goodwill and courage that he gave to the American people. And that honor is usually meant for philanthropists and scientists and other people, not people, definitely not people, in show business. So that was a very special thing.
Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums run coming everywhere.
His first Broadway hit is 1904, though, and it's Little Johnny Jones, and this is where we first hear Give My Regards to Broadway, famous song, and of course the famous song that we all know, Yankee Doodle Dandy.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, Yankee Doodle do or die. A real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart, she's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy.
And as you can see, James Cagney's thing, it's very interesting and different and new, where this kind of half singing, half reciting the songs. I think it's really cool. And that's what they were doing in opera, recitative, where they would. So he's bringing that into the musical theater, where they would half talk, half sing, where not every note that they were singing was notated on the page or meant to be notated. You could sing and speak at the same time in that certain amount of time, musical time. So George M. Cohan had a little bit of say while they were filming Yankee Doodle Dandy, but he was in pretty bad health by the time the movie was about to come out. But he loved it, and he said, "My God, what an act to follow!" According to Jimmy Cagney's portrayal of him. So I think he was really, if one was going to die after a great career, seeing that movie, that would be very cool to see your life like that. And he was so happy with it, and what a genius, George M. Cohan, and what a great film, Yankee Doodle Dandy. So hope you guys have a great 4th of July. We'll miss you tomorrow and the weekend, but we'll be right here for you on Monday. And enjoy George M. Cohan. Watch Yankee Doodle Dandy. It's I'm sure it's on YouTube, and it's a fun patriotic song, and eat some hot dogs, and or do whatever you want. You don't have to, but that's what I'll be doing. So, okay, see you Monday.
What's the matter, old-timer? Don't you remember this song? Seems to me I do. Well, I don't hear anything.